What is up, guys? Cash back again, and we have more comments from Nick, the Avengers developer who frequents Reddit, and he answered two questions in regards to the future of patrol mode and also what we can expect to see in terms of villains in the future. And I'll go over what was said and share my thoughts on these comments, so let's jump into it. The first question asked was if we'll ever see a patrol mode actually come to the game, because for anyone new, it was announced last year that a Wasteland patrol was coming, and then without any real communication, that never came to be. And the only comments developers would share were that patrol mode isn't canceled or dead, and that it was ultimately held back. They have to have join in progress available for a patrol mode to work as it should. And last week, Miller shared that he found that work is being done behind the scenes for a patrol mode, with boss bounties being found in the game files. And Nick responded to the question by saying, we still see value in patrol mode and it hasn't been actively canceled, but I don't have any news about if/when it may be finished and pushed live right now. So they continue to insist that patrol mode has not been abandoned, and there's clearly been a shift in how planned content is announced to the public, because they clearly weren't pleased with things like patrol mode being announced but ultimately held back because it either wasn't ready or it no longer fit the game's current standards, which was the situation with Cloning Labs, which is also rumored to be making a new comeback. He was also asked if he could share info about any new in-game content currently in the works, like an elite version of the OLT or a new raid or OLT. And he responded, at a broad philosophical level, adding more playable content, mainly content with a bit more of an explicit villain focus, is something that we want to do in future patches. I'm not going to comment on any plans or specifics right now. That sort of news will show up in our development update post when we are ready to talk about it. Now, while he clearly can't go into specifics about anything that hasn't been officially announced, what he said about the team focusing on adding more playable content that mainly focuses explicitly on villains is very interesting, because back in March, Brian Wagner shared on Twitter that he sees the tweets about frustration over seeing another Taskmaster villain sector added, which of course was the new Wasteland villain sector, and that he gets it and agrees that we need more/wider variety of villains, and that part of what he's doing is finding ways for them to create a quicker/more sustainable villain/enemy pipeline. So the idea of bringing more villains for the Avengers to fight has been a big part of the discussion this year, and there's clearly work being done on multiple fronts to bring more villains to the forefront, with the return of MODOK rumored to be happening soon, as well as Ultron being believed to make his debut alongside She-Hulk. And we've heard Brian talk about how the team has been planning the game's future beyond even the Kree invasion, which is expected to be the game's biggest in-game content to date whenever it's released, with the expectations being sometime in early 2023. There are a ton of villains from Marvel history for the team to pull from, with many fans campaigning for more notable villains like Doctor Doom, Hydra, and Loki, while also hoping to see smaller villains appear as villain sectors, or hopefully in patrol mode when and if it ultimately makes it into the game. If everything goes as expected, then we should at the very least have two new villains by the end of the year, with Ultron being one and the other being a mystery, because we still have no info on who the villain of the Winter Soldier's operation will be. And if you include the return of MODOK, who as of right now is only available to fight in the campaign, we'll have three new villains to team up against, with the expectation being that going into 2023, more villains should appear a bit more frequently, hopefully. But those are my thoughts on the situation, and as always, I want to share any news and info I find on the game with you guys, and also give you the chance to share your thoughts down below. Are you optimistic about seeing patrol mode at some point in the future, and what villains would you like to see the team focus on bringing to the game? Let me know down below, and make sure to leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe for more Marvel's Avengers content every week. And if you're interested in picking up Avengers merch, shop with Fandominion, and make sure to use my code in the description to get an additional 10% off. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll catch you on the next one.